The sun dips below the horizon of Cebu City, painting the sky with hues of orange and purple. The night market comes alive, vendors shouting prices, children laughing, and the scent of roasted corn filling the air. Amid the noise, a familiar sound rises above it all, the harmonious voices of Ramon and his 10-year-old son, Eli. Ramon, a wiry man in his 40s with gentle eyes, strums his old, cracked guitar, its strings worn but still producing a warm tone. Eli, barefoot and bright-eyed, stands beside him clutching a small microphone. Together, they sing, "You Raise Me Up," their voices blending in perfect harmony. Despite the simplicity of their setup, a single lantern and a tip box made from a milk can, their music captures hearts. Passers-by pause, mesmerized by the emotional pull of their performance. A young woman wipes her tears, an elderly vendor hums along, and even the restless crowd quiets to listen. When the song ends, applause echoes through the market. Eli bows shyly, smiling as a few coins clink into their can. Ramon places a hand on his son's shoulder. "You did good, Anik," he says softly. Eli beams, "For Mama, Papa." The father nods, eyes glistening with both pride and sorrow. Every song they sing is a tribute to the wife and mother they lost to illness 2 years before, a pain they heal through music. Later that night, as they pack up, a foreign tourist approaches, phone in hand. "That was beautiful," she says, recording their final song. She posts it online with the caption, "The Cebu father-son duo that will touch your heart." Neither Ramon nor Eli knows it yet, but that single video will soon change their lives forever. Weeks later, Ramon and Eli step off a crowded bus in London, clutching a small suitcase and an old guitar wrapped in cloth. The morning air is cold, their breath forming clouds as they walk toward the grand auditorium of Britain's Got Talent. For the first time, the father and son from Cebu are far from home, yet their hearts beat with one rhythm, hope. Backstage, contestants rush around, dancers stretching, magicians rehearsing, but Ramon and Eli sit quietly on a bench. Eli nervously grips his father's hand. "Papa, what if they don't like us?" Ramon smiles, kneeling to his level. "Then we'll sing like we always do, like Mama is listening." Those words calm the boy. When their names are called, bright lights flood the stage. The crowd seems endless, and the judges, Simon Cowell, Amanda Holden, Alicia Dixon, and Bruno Tonioli, watch with curiosity. Simon leans forward, asking, "What brings you here today?" Ramon answers humbly, "We sing together to honor my wife, his mother. She loved music." The room falls silent. Eli adds softly, "We want to make her proud." The music begins, "You Raise Me Up." Ramon strums his guitar, his hands trembling slightly. Eli's clear, angelic voice fills the hall, rising above the nerves. As the father joins in harmony, something magical happens, their voices blend like one soul speaking through two hearts. The audience grows still, phones rise to record the moment. Even Simon's usually stern face softens. Amanda leans forward, whispering, "That's beautiful." As they reach the final note, Eli closes his eyes, tears slipping down his cheeks. The last chord fades, leaving an emotional silence. Then, an explosion of applause. The father and son glance at each other, overwhelmed. They know something extraordinary has just begun. As the melody swells, the stage lights soften into a golden hue, wrapping Ramon and Eli in a warm glow. Eli takes a deep breath, his voice trembling slightly as he begins the second verse. The notes float through the air, pure and filled with emotion. The audience leans in, captivated, not just by the music, but by the unspoken love between father and son. Raymond's eyes glisten as he watches his boy sing with such heart. He joins in, his deep, soulful tone wrapping around Eli's like a protective embrace. Together, they create something almost spiritual, every lyric echoing with their shared loss, hope, and faith. The connection between them feels sacred, a bond that even death could not break. Simon Cowell, usually composed, looks down for a moment, his expression softening. He's no longer the judge, just a man moved by love. Alicia whispers to Amanda, "You can feel it, it's real." The audience sits in reverent silence, their eyes fixed on the stage. As the chorus approaches, Eli closes his eyes and hits a high note so pure it seems to pierce the heavens. The crowd gasps. Ramon kneels beside him, singing the harmony through tears, his voice breaking but strong. Their sound fills every corner of the theater, echoing like a prayer. When the music fades, the audience rises in unison, thunderous applause, tears, cheers. Eli looks stunned, covering his face in disbelief. Ramon pulls him close, whispering, "You did it, Anik." Simon stands slowly, his voice trembling. "That was one of the most beautiful things I've ever heard." His words hang in the air like a benediction. The father and son glance at each other, realizing they've touched not just hearts, but something far deeper. The cheers from the audience still thunder through the hall as Ramon and Eli stand under the stage lights, their faces glowing with disbelief. Gold and white spotlights dance around them, but all they see is each other, father and son, hands trembling, hearts pounding. Simon Cowell wipes his eyes discreetly, trying to regain his composure. He looks at them for a long moment before speaking, his voice soft but filled with emotion. You know, he begins, I've heard thousands of singers come and go on this stage, but what you just did wasn't just singing. It was love, raw and real. The crowd falls silent, hanging on every word. Eli clutches his small microphone, his lip quivering. Thank you, sir, he whispers. Ramon nods humbly, his voice cracking as he adds, this was for my wife, for her memory. Simon swallows hard, visibly moved. She would be proud, he says gently. Then, a pause. Simon looks down, then back at them, eyes glistening. He reaches forward, slowly, deliberately, and slams his hand on the golden buzzer. Collision boom. Golden confetti erupts from the ceiling, swirling through the air like a dream come true. The audience screams in joy, many in tears. Eli gasps, his tiny hands covering his mouth as he looks up in wonder. Ramon falls to his knees, pulling his son into a tight embrace, both of them sobbing uncontrollably beneath the golden rain. Simon stands and walks to the stage, shaking Raymond's hand, then kneeling to meet Eli's eyes. Never stop singing, he says softly. The world needs your light. The entire theater erupts into applause. Amid the golden glow, father and son cling to each other, two souls, one heart, knowing they've just lived a moment the world will never forget. Backstage, Ramon and Eli are still covered in golden confetti. Crew members, contestants, and even the hosts rush to congratulate them. Eli's small hands tremble as he holds a piece of golden paper, whispering, Papa, we did it. Ramon hugs him tightly, his eyes brimming with tears. Yes, Anik. Mama's smiling from heaven. The moment spreads like wildfire across the internet, clips of Simon wiping his tears, the confetti falling, and Eli's angelic high note flood social media. Within hours, their story trends worldwide. Father-son duo from Cebu makes Simon Cowell cry. News outlets replay their performance on loop. People everywhere call it the most emotional golden buzzer of the season. A few days later, they return home to Cebu. As they step off the ferry, hundreds of people wait, holding banners, flowers, and flags. Children wave handmade signs, welcome home, golden boys. Ramon and Eli walk through the crowd, overwhelmed by cheers and tears. Street vendors they once sang beside now proudly chant their names. That night, they return to the same market where their journey began. But this time, they don't sing for coins. They sing to inspire. The same lantern that once lit their small stage now shines brighter, surrounded by neighbors and friends. When they begin, You Raise Me Up, once more, the entire crowd joins in, voices united. As the final note fades, Ramon looks at his son, eyes filled with gratitude. You see, Eli, he says softly, dreams do come true, when you sing with love. Eli smiles, gazing up at the night sky. For Mama, he whispers. And as the stars twinkle above Cebu, the echoes of their song carry through the warm air, proof that love, music, and faith can turn even the simplest lives into something extraordinary.